But yeah, it's interesting. Well, I see someone in the comments saying about your formation and they're vexed. What are you saying about the formation?
Bro, everything's dead, bro. I can't lie, bro.
Serious?
Honestly, yeah, bro, like this manager, bro. I can't lie. It's one of them ones where you know what it is with United fans, yeah. They feel like they can't criticize the manager because they think that part of being a Man United fan is just backing the manager blindly just because we had arguably the best manager of all time at the club. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. It's just like Arsenal fans thinking that you need to treat every manager like they're Wenger, but they haven't won the trophies that Wenger's won. And even Arsenal fans turned on Wenger at the end. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when I look at this Manchester United manager, yeah, like, bro, I'm not of the belief that in life, after 6 months, you can't judge anyone on anything. You know them, man. I'm not of that belief, bro. Like, if you go to a job, yeah, the probation period usually is 3 months, 3 to 6 months. After 6 months, the reason why the probation is 6 months because they know, yeah, that within this time, I can get rid of my man with minimal fuss, yeah. And I think that I would have seen all I need to see within this time, which is reasonable. This manager came into this club, I think, in November or something like that. Brother, we're in May. And this brother ain't done one thing that I like. And I'm supposed to just sit here and say, oh, you know what? Give him players, bro. This is insane, bro. If we lose this game tonight, bro, they need to sack this brother. Like, I don't see the point in waiting to the end of the season, fam. I'll
Yeah,
be honest.
the only point is if you sack him, you haven't given him a season to get his players in. Number
He
one,
doesn't need his players, bro. He don't
and,
need
num-
his players. There's bare
and,
managers that ain't got their players.
and
Slot
number
ain't got his players, bruv.
and number two, what's the other thing? You're gonna have to pay him out. So that's more money you're
Yeah, but
losing.
I don't care. You know that, bruv. Listen, they're smart anyway because they gave him a short contract anyway.
Okay.
They gave him a short contract. They didn't give him no big contract. He didn't get no little 5-year deal, bro. This bro got 18 months here with the option of an extra year. So really and truly, technically, this brother's only got a year to be paid out on paper. Like, bro, take your year. He's not even on big money. So it's one of them things where, like, man don't really care about the payout and all these other things. Yeah, you would think that as a business, you have to budget for these things anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you have to budget for these things. Like, the brother's been here long enough here,
So
and the signs are not positive, bro. Because man can say, yo, I need my own players, but I'm like, bro, that's not the job description of a manager. A job description of a manager is to manage, bro. So you need to manage with whatever you have. And
yeah,
what you're doing with what you have now is showing pure incompetence.
and make whatever you have better.
Of
Improve
course.
what you have, and then when you get a chance to improve more, you improve more. Same thing when Arteta came in, he improved the team, bro.
And also, the reason why you believed in Arteta from the jump is because he won a trophy with someone else's players.
Yeah.
He did. Do you know what I'm saying? He won a trophy with someone else's players. And if anything, he's got his own players, and now he can't win one. So it's one of them things where football doesn't always work like that.
But we've seen the thing is we've seen an improvement as well. Though. Although, yeah, I get we haven't won anything, but you've seen the improvement in terms of the level, like the team he inherited with Kolasinac and Mustafi and Guendouzi and Pepe, Lacazette. It's night and day, bro. But there are definitely improvements that need to be made up. Arsenal. The problem is we can see the key areas that need strengthening, but they haven't done it. Because remember, as you said, if Arsenal buy a striker, a decent one, the game against PSG might be a different game.
It might be, but
No, I'm just saying in terms of chances taken, it might be a different game.
No, you're right. But then
the league could be a different league.
Yeah, but do you create those chances because it's a different kind of football, bro? Like, the reason why when people say if Arsenal have a striker, the reason why I don't agree with that is because I believe this Arsenal team is built in the image of the manager. He's been there long enough. He spent enough money. So you can't look at this team and say this is not an Arteta team. You can't say that. The reason why you don't have a striker because your manager don't want one. Because he bought.
No,
he didn't.
Still.
He doesn't want one. He bought fucking what's his name, the Brazilian Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. Jesus played on the wing for Man City. He brought in Gabriel Jesus to play up front for Arsenal, and then Gabriel Jesus came out and pretty much said, "You know what? I'm not a striker. I don't score goals." All right, cool. So after that, and that's after you got rid of Aubameyang. And then instead of getting another striker that scores goals, you go and get fucking nobody, blood, and then you turn Kai Havertz into a fucking striker, bro. Who's the last striker that you've gone out and paid money for?
No, I hear that, but I'm saying when Jesus came to Arsenal first season, he done well. Like from the back. That's remember that the season Jesus.
But he's not a striker though, bro. Like he played wing for City.
I get that, but the season Havertz did come in for Arsenal, he done well, and that's when basically Arsenal didn't do what Liverpool done. Liverpool won the league, but the season before Jesus came, Arsenal finished fifth. I think Tottenham pipped us to fourth. So we got fifth. Then the next season we challenged for the league and we like lost it. I think like by 2 points or something, or 3 points, something like that. So like the change was drastic where Arsenal was like, oh, you were unlucky. But remember, Partey was injured for a lot of the season. Then the next season we got Rice.
Exactly, another midfielder, bro. You've been signing centre backs and midfielders, bro. Marv, if you saw me eating Big Macs every day on stream, and I told you I wanted to lose weight, would you believe me?
No, but remember, you got to look at. Well, look, I get what you're saying, but you have to look at the timeline of Arsenal. So that season we nearly won the league, and we had Jesus. We didn't have a problem with a striker. We didn't have a problem with scoring goals. The problem was Partey kept getting injured, and that was our key midfielder. So we've got Declan Rice the next season, and we're like, yo, we're going to push on because now we've got the midfielder we need. But then Jesus keeps getting injured the next season. So it's like, so now we've got, and then Zinchenko as left back is a problem.
Yeah, but you don't just buy strikers to score goals, Marv. You buy strikers because you want to play a certain way.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? You don't just buy strikers to score goals, bro. Like that's the biggest myth. People think that you only look at strikers if your team is not scoring goals. No, you bring in a striker because the striker is the focal point of your team. So if you wanna play a possession style, and you want a striker that's a back to goal link striker like a Giroud, or if you want a striker that's gonna help stretch the pitch and run the channels, then you pick a certain striker, maybe like a Watkins kind of striker or something. Do you know what I mean? Everything. A striker is also something that determines, the style of football that you want to play. It's not just for goals, blood, because strikers are supposed to open up space, open up opportunities for other players on the pitch as well. They're not there to just only score goals. The fact 100%. That Arteta has not targeted an out-and-out striker since getting rid of Aubameyang tells me he doesn't want one. He's been there for 6 years now, bro. Like,
I hear what you're saying, but remember, when we had Aubameyang, what would you say Arsenal's problem was? It's our defense. The defense was garbage, bro. Terrible defense. We used to literally concede
he scored goals
all the time. Yeah, I get it. Aubameyang scored, but we conceded so many goals. It didn't matter. Like we won games, but generally speaking, our defense was horrid, bro. And every Arsenal fan would tell you our defense was bad. So Arteta looked at that and said, "Do you know what? I need to sort out the defense." And as a defensive unit, Arsenal's defense is garbage. We're too easy to play through. A counter attack, you're scoring. Like so, he came in and thought, "Let me address the defensive frailties." Obviously, Aubameyang's gone, and we've got Saka, we've got Martinelli, we've got other players that are filling in gaps. I think Lacazette was still there a season after, I believe. So we still had Lacazette, but again, he was missing bare chances, So now, obviously, we've got Jesus. He's scoring. So we're like, all right, cool. We've got a striker or someone that fits that mold, that's mobile, that can alternate between the three, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, nice little blend, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? But then obviously injuries have happened to Jesus and Partey. And I think in January, he wanted to get a striker. But obviously Edu leaving, whatever, we couldn't. There was no one there was no one really in that position to do the deal. Because I know, well, my brethren worked there and a few people have been like, there were murmurs at Arsenal that yes, he wanted to be a striker, but
yeah, he wanted to try to get Ollie Watkins. They put in a bid for, but bro, that was
shit.
But that was our desperation, bro. And that wasn't even a proper thing, bro. It was a little half-hearted bid, and that like it wasn't. Arsenal are one of the best-run clubs in the league when it comes to finances. You had money there to get the player if you wanted to spend the money, bro. Like my point is, the manager's had 5 or 6 summers, and he hasn't made a serious attempt at signing a striker when he signed multiple goalkeepers, multiple centre-backs, multiple midfielders.
No, you say that, but when we tried to sign 2 strikers and they were like, no. Tried to sign the guy from Juve,
Vlahovic you're talking about. That wasn't no serious sign, or else
Nah,
you
it
would
was
have got
serious,
him.
bro. He said,
How come you could spend 100 million on Declan, yeah, and you're trying to tell me you couldn't find money for a striker?
No,
if
it
you
wasn't
really
even the
wanted?
money. He didn't want to come because when he was at Fiorentina first, we tried to buy him for Fiorentina, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to come. I want to stay in Italy. I don't want to leave Italy." He
Yeah, then
said
get
it.
someone else, bro.
Then he went to Juve, and then he said at Juve. Then there's another striker he went for. I can't remember who it was, and he was like, "I'm not leaving. I don't want to leave right now." I can't remember who it was.
Big Arsenal. You can't tell me that you didn't have a list of players that you could have got, or you're telling me you don't have a striker now because players don't want to play for you.
But you see, the problem is that I feel like the different approaches with players is the difference between Arsenal and United. So I feel like United want a player and they just go and get him. And it's like, as you said, where's this guy playing? Is he even going to fit this team? Whereas I see Arteta looks at it like, you know what? I only want to buy players that I believe will fit somewhere in this team. So if this is not the striker that I want, I'm not going to buy a striker.
But there's multiple players that can fit. Yeah,
I get that, but I'm just saying. I think that's how he sees it. He just sees it as if it's not one of the two players that I want, they're not going to fit my system. I don't want them. I'll just stay with what I have. Whereas at United or Chelsea, for example, if there's a player available, you might want to say, let's grab him. And the problem is that can work, but then if it doesn't work, you get a lot of dead wood in your squad that now you have to get rid of. Because, for example, Mason Mount, you didn't need Mason Mount. Why did you buy Mason Mount?
We didn't need Mason Mount. That was some idiot thing. I don't know why we signed him. I couldn't tell you why.
See what I'm saying that there's certain players, like even Højlund, for example, you needed a striker, but Højlund,
you didn't need him.
That's my point. But someone could argue, yeah, but there's bare striker. Like you need a striker. Why didn't you get Højlund? But Højlund wasn't a fit for your team. You should have never bought Højlund.
Agreed.
But because you had the money and you needed a striker, and there was a bit of hysteria around his potential, and they gas man that, yeah, Atlanta, this is the next one up, like buy him or you're going to regret it. You man bought him and he's just doing shuttle runs. Like he doesn't.
You're right, but here's the flip side to that, yeah? Here's the flip side to that. Arteta came into the club when? What year was Arteta?
About 6 years ago. So what I think he came in just before COVID, I think.
So what was that? 2019, yeah? Bro, listen.
Yeah.
Bruv, do you know the amount of strikers I've seen my club sign, yeah? And even if they're not good strikers, at least they've shown intent that we need a striker because they've signed them. So as much as Højlund shit, yeah, I've seen my team sign Højlund. I've seen my team bring Ronaldo back, even though we shouldn't have done that. I've seen my team sign Cavani. Before that, we had Zlatan, we had Lukaku. Look at all these strikers that we've signed, yeah, because we've decided we want a fucking striker, bro. 6 years. You ain't signed one rotted striker. I'd rather you sign 4 strikers and they were all duds, yeah, but you showed the intent that you wanted one, bro. Like, I don't think Arsenal fans can keep saying, because I feel like I've heard Arsenal fans say for the last 5 years, we need a striker, we need a striker, we need a striker, we need a striker. Like the fans know, the manager don't know, blood.